story happened not on Yom Kippur Eve, but instead it happened late one Yom Kippur afternoon in the synagogue of Berdichev. The famous Rabbi Levi Yitzchak, who was known for his great love and his compassion, fell asleep on the pulpit just as he was about beginning the day's concluding service. Actually, he didn't really fall asleep. Those who knew him well realized that this great rabbi would never really go to sleep in the synagogue on Yom Kippur. Rather, Rabbi Levi Yitzchak did what every wonder-working rabbi does on Yom Kippur. He ascended to the highest heaven to stand before the throne of judgment in order to find out what the destiny of his beloved community would be for the coming year. Levi Yitzchak stood in the presence of the great judge sitting on a grand throne, with the scales of judgment before the Creator of all. The rabbi eagerly searched the scales of his little town of Berdichev. When he finally did find it, he was shaken. He was terrified. The side of the scale with good deeds was high up in the air with just a few pitiful items on it, while the side of the scale with the sins was so full, so heavily weighted that it was as low as it could go, strained to the breaking point.
In desperation, Levi Yitzchak turned to Adonai with panic and fear welling up inside, and he said, God, Master of the universe, I know that the record of my people in Berdichev is dismal. But what do you expect, Adonai? If you would have put us into the Garden of Eden, you could expect us to act like angels. But please, God, you placed us into a harsh and difficult setting. What alternative do my poor, downtrodden, miserable people have? Sometimes we must take extreme measures just to survive. Levi Yitzchak was overjoyed to find that Adonai was actually in a very receptive mood. With a benign parental smile, God said to him, Levi Yitzchak, you have a point. I haven't been fair. I promise that the Jews of Berdichev are going to have a fine year. As a matter of fact, Levi Yitzchak found God in such good humor that he suspected that this might be the moment to convince God to save not only the Jews of Berdichev, but to save all humankind, to send the Messiah, the Redeemer, to save the world. And so Levi Yitzchak turned to Adonai and said, Adonai, ruler of the universe, merciful parent, how long? How long have your poor children suffered? Haven't they suffered long enough? They're drowning, dear God. They're on the very edge of desperation. Before it's too late, show us your grace and mercy and send us your Redeemer.
Lo and behold, God was willing to discuss the matter with Levi Yitzchak. God said to him, Levi Yitzchak, you put forth a very, very cogent argument. There is much merit in it. Please sit down. Convince me. And so Levi Yitzchak was about to sit down to convince God to save the world when, out of the corner of his eye, he glanced down at his little town of Berdichev, and he noticed that Chaim, the laundryman, Chaim, who was as old as time and as ugly as sin, to whom no one paid any attention, neglected, isolated, lonely. This Chaim had fainted.
Chaim had been fasting from the previous day. It was getting very late. He could not hold out any longer, so he fainted. Levi Yitzchak knew well that he had to rush down to his synagogue and conclude the service so that Chaim would eat. Otherwise, Chaim would die. So here was his dilemma. Whom shall he save? Shall he convince Adonai to save the world? or shall he save the life of Chaim, the laundryman?
Actually, the choice was an easy one. Levi Yitzchak turned to God and said, I would love to sit down here with you, O God, and convince you to save the world, but where is it written that the price of saving the world is the life of Chaim the laundryman? And with that, he turned to rush down and concluded the service.
And as he was descending from the heights, rushing to save the life of Chaim, the story concluded. And he heard a chorus of angels calling after him, Levi Yitzchak, you are saving the world. We're at that moment. If the person next to you has their eyes closed, they may be. This is that time of the day when, I don't know about you, but I'm kind of tired, a little bit hungry. Day's coming to a close. We have the memories of our thoughts and prayers, and we have the anticipation of the gates closing on this day, and we're almost there. We're yearning for that final sound of the shofar so that we can, yes, eat, but more importantly, live the lives we've dreamed of during these last 25 hours. Right now, we are fresh, we are cleansed, we're ready to begin new, but there's still a little bit of work to do. We have this final hour where we can think about our thoughts from our experiences in the synagogue today and last week. Has it met your expectations? Were you able to reflect on your life at all? Could you discover where you are for now and hold on to that? We hope that in our exploration of kindness this year, that you've come to understand your place in your family, in the world, and indeed in your relationship to the people that you're closest to. We hope that you have found a stillness that can carry into the year filled with hope and love and kindness. Let us prepare ourselves for the gates to close, leaving this chapter behind. The long day is over and the gates are closing, and slowly day fades into dusk, and soon the earth will darken, our bodies will weary, our inner strength will be undiminished. Please rise. In a moment, you're going to rise in body and spirit. We're going to hear really a melody, kind of I feel it's kind of a haunting melody, Kedoshim Tihiyu, that we will be a holy people. And we'll hear this melody to get us into this moment, and then the rabbi's going to open up the ark, and at that time we'll all rise. And I'm going to say right now, we're going to stand for the remaining time. So if you're tired, just sit down. You don't have to be a hero. And although we did talk about this as a marathon, the marathon is coming to an end. But please don't feel like you have to stand through the entire thing. If you're feeling sick, or you're feeling tired, or you're feeling a little lightheaded, you don't have to be a martyr. This day has been a gift. Uncluttered time, free from hurry and routine, appointments or assignments. A time to face our sins and imperfections, our dreams and yearnings for the life we want to live. Time to leave the clamor of the world and attend to the voice within.
invite everyone to rise as I open the ark. We begin Neilah by expanding our hearts to the end of the day, our final approach towards the new. Let us begin our journey from the dark places in ourselves we discover today and open our souls as the gates slowly close. We're on page 640.
השמש יבוא ויבנה
We continue now with the Amidah.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu v'Elohei avoteinu v'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzhak, v'Elohei Yaakov. Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah. Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, Elyon, Gomel, Chasadim Tovim, v'Konei HaKol. וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות לבני בניהם למען שמו באהבה. זוכרנו, זוכרנו לחיים, מלך חפץ בחיים, וחותמנו, וחותמנו בספר החיים, למענך אלוהים חיים, וחותמנו, וחותמנו בספר החיים, למענך אלוהים חיים. זוכרנו, זוכרנו לחיים, מלך חפץ בחיים, וחותמנו, וחותמנו בספר החיים, למענך אלוהים חיים, וחותמנו, וחותמנו בספר החיים, למענך אלוהים חיים. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי הגולתה, רב להושיע מוריד הטל.
Page 626.
מחכה לחיים בחסד, מחייך כל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, נקדש את שמך בעולם, כשם שמקדישים אותו בשמי מרום, כך כתוב על יד נביאך, כך כתוב על יד נביאך, וקרא זה אל זה ואמר, קדוש, קדוש, קדוש אדוני צבאות, מלך כל הארץ כבודו. אדיר אדירנו, אדוני אדוננו, מאדיר שמך בכל הארץ. אחד הוא אלוהינו, אחד הוא אבינו, אחד הוא מלכנו, אחד הוא מושיענו, והוא ישמיענו ברחמיו לעיני כל חי. אחד הוא אלוהינו, אחד הוא אבינו, אחד הוא מלכנו, אחד הוא מושיענו, והוא ישמיענו ברחמיו. ימלוך אדוני לעולם, אלוהי ציון לדור ודור.
We don't do a very good job of acknowledging that we're not always in control. During the Aleinu Hagadol, it's traditional to bow, not just at the waist, but to get fully down on the ground and bow down with your forehead touching the floor. If you choose to do this, and there's plenty of room in the front here, and there's room in the aisles, and there's room in the back and on the sides. Think of this as an act of not groveling to a higher power, but as an act of humility, as a recognition that our ego gets in the way. So as you bow, think of yourself quieting that voice of self-importance for just a moment. That voice that reminds you how right you are. That voice that reminds you how other people just misinterpreted your actions. Shush the voice that makes you the most important person in this room, and let yourself feel a part of a community where we're all bowing low. Let's read together on page 430. Ours is the duty. 430. Together. Aleinu, ours the duty to listen, and ours the duty to praise. Ours is the duty to respond to what we hear, to raise questions, and build houses of study in which to ask them, to praise the Creator for creating, to praise the Creator for rest, to praise the God of Torah for the challenge of Torah, to praise the God of eternity for every hour, every day, to plant and build, and to seek peace and pursue it. Ours the duty to do justice, ours the duty to be Israel, to fix the broken, to open doors of hope, to bow before a commanding power that speaks to us from Sinai, from history, from deep within the heart. Hear, O Israel, it is not your duty to complete the work, but you may not turn away. We're on page 432.
Aleinu leshabeach l'Adon hakol לתת גדולה לעוזר בראשית שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות שלא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה שלא שם חלקנו בהם וגורלנו לכל המונם ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא.
We move ahead to page 612. Long ago, the temple gates were locked at dusk. So too at this hour, the gates of Yom Kippur begin to close. Have we done all we needed to be done? Said everything that needed to be said? The gates of God's compassion never close, but soon enough our lives close in on us. Now in the silence of the soul, now before the holy day comes to an end, release the unshed tears, the deepest prayers locked in our hearts. We're on page 614.
לחיים נשאים ומסעדים בחילה בשעת הנעילה אל נורא לילה אל נורא לילה היה להם לסתרה והרצם במהרה וחודמם לחור ולגילה בשעת הנעילה אל נורא לילה אל נורא לילה תזכו לשנים רבות הבנים והבנות בתצה וסוכלה בשעת הנעילה יעשה לנו מחילה בשעת הנעילה.
We go to now page 641. When you are asked in the world to come, what kind of work did you do? And your answer is, I fed the hungry. The response will be, this is the gate of the eternal. Enter into it, you who fed the hungry. If your answer is, I gave drink to the thirsty, the response will be, this is the gate of the eternal. Enter into it if you gave drink to the thirsty. If your answer is, I clothed the naked, the response will be, this is the gate of the eternal. Enter into it, you who clothed the naked. And the response will be the same if you answer, I was a parent to orphans. I was generous to the poor. I performed deeds of loving kindness. Let's read together on the bottom of 643. Day of Atonement. Out of nothing I became a being, and from a being I shall be nothing. But until then I rejoice, a mote in your world, a spark in your seeing. We're on page 646.
Adonai, Adonai, El Rahum Vechanun, Erech Apayim, Berav Chesed Ve'emet. Notze Chesed Lalavim, Nosei Avon V'Fesha, Ve'ata. Vayomer Adonai, Vayomer Adonai, Vayomer Eloheinu v'Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Tavo lefanecha, tefilateinu, ve'al tidalam mitchinateinu. לפניך. אדוני אלוהינו ואלוהי אבותינו, צדיקים אנחנו ולא חטאנו,
We continue with our final confessional, Asham Nu, page 653. At the bottom of 652. Our God and God of all generations, may our prayers reach your presence. And when we turn to you, do not be indifferent. Adonai, we are arrogant and we are stubborn, claiming to be blameless and free of sin. In truth, we have stumbled and strayed. We have done wrong. We turn to page 660. Please read responsively with me. Go forth in gladness, your heart filled with joy. Eat your bread and drink your wine. God of glory high above, hear the cry of those who trust you. Let your people know, even the unkindest of your deeds I will forgive.
God,
Go forth in gladness, your heart filled with joy. Eat your bread and drink your wine. Now as the gates are closing, now as the sun begins to fade, with waters of atonement bathe your people, the ones you embrace in love. Go forth in gladness, your heart filled with joy. Eat your bread and drink your wine. We've arrived at the final Avinu Malkeinu of this season, a time when we look to the great presence around us to bring compassion, love, acceptance, and gentle guidance, much like a parent might bring to a child. Compassion, acceptance, gentle guidance, may they come. Our job is to reach back out to God in this moment to hear everything this parent has to teach us. Avinu Malkeinu is on page 662.
Avinu Malkeinu Choneinu Aneinu Ki ein banu ma'asim. Avinu Malkeinu Choneinu Aneinu Ki ein banu ma'asim. Asei imanu tzedaka v'chesed ve'hoshi'enu. Asei imanu tzedaka v'chesed ve'hoshi'enu. Avinu Malkeinu Choneinu Aneinu Ki ein banu ma'asim.
Set me as a seal upon your heart, as a seal upon your hand. As the book of life is closed and sealed, open our hearts, open our hands. Let those who asked forgiveness and those who gave forgiveness depart this place in peace. Let all God seekers and soul searchers of this day depart this place inspired and renewed. Together, let us build a community of commitment. Let all of us be sealed this day, Gemar Chatima Tova, sealed for goodness and sealed for life, Besefer Chayim Tovim, sealed in the book of life and good, eager to taste life's sweetness, to enjoy the fruit of our labors, to bring light to the darkness and joy where sorrow dwells. Be sealed for a year of Torah and soulful searching. Be sealed for a year of kindness, good deeds, and love. As the book of life is closed and sealed, open our hands, open our hearts.
page 666. The sun is beginning its descent over the horizon. The gates are slightly open as a sliver of light beams through as if fighting to stay just a tiny bit longer. It feels like we've just finished a long day. We're sitting on the porch. It's that time between light and dark, and the air is still, and the night insects are beginning to make noise. And there's quiet. All that we've had to say, we've said. All that we prayed has been prayed. We began the day by letting go of our ego. Now we have to let go of this day and the journey that we've been on. We're towards the end of our entire 25 hours. We're on page 668, Kaddish Shalem.
Ba'agala u'bizman ka Adonai hu ha-Elohim.
Elohim.
Adonai hu ha-Elohim.
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 John Jameson, please come forward to close the ark after the sound of the final shofar. Like anyone under the age of 120, if you'd like to come closer to hear the shofar, please come forward. If you're a child, you might want to get closer. And then after the final sound, John, you can go on up there. We'll all come up to the ark for Havdalah together.
Come on, kids. Tekiah. Shevarim. Teruah. Tekiah Gedolah. Woo!
You can come closer.
Down
Borei Pri Agafen.
Borei Pri Agafen. Borei Pri Agafen. Yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai lai yai lai lai. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam.
Meorei ha'esh. Meorei ha'esh.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Hamavdil bein kodesh lechol. Hamavdil bein kodesh lechol. Eliyahu hanavi, Eliyahu hatishbi, Eliyahu, Eliyahu, Eliyahu hagiladi. Mimera le'yameinu, yavo eleinu. Im Mashiach ben David, Im Mashiach ben David. Eliyahu hanavi, Eliyahu hatishbi, Eliyahu, Eliyahu, Eliyahu hagiladi.
How about this one? Od yavo
Shalom aleinu,
Od yavo shalom aleinu.
Od yavo shalom aleinu,
Me'al kulam. Od yavo shalom aleinu. Od yavo shalom aleinu. Od yavo shalom aleinu. Me'al kulam. Salam aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam. Salam shalom. Salam aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam. Salam shalom. Od yavo shalom aleinu. Od yavo shalom aleinu. Od yavo shalom aleinu ve'al kulam. Od yavo shalom aleinu. Od yavo shalom aleinu. Od yavo shalom aleinu ve'al kulam.
Salam
aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam. Salam shalom. shalom aleinu. Od yavo shalom aleinu. Od yavo shalom aleinu.
Kindness? Where are we going? We're just going to indulge ourselves here. Feel free to go eat.
Kindness,
Kindness,
being kind,
being kind, loving kindness, living kind. Come close if you haven't been up close.
kindness, being kind,
Being kind, loving kindness,
living kind. Let's do Motzi together.
Baruch atah Adonai, there is Chala somewhere. Melech haolam,
Ha'otzi lechem min haaretz
b'te'avo.
There is challah in the foyer.
Tamar Chatima
There's
Tova.
juice in the foyer, and Shana Tova to everybody.
Shana Tova.